Hi everyone, and welcome to my review of the KBEAR Robin, their latest hybrid IEM. It's a 10 unit hybrid, so 4 BAs and 1 dynamic driver per side, totaling 10 drivers in total. This is the box. Seems to be a new presentation for KBEAR. I can't really say because the other stuff I had a radically different appearance, and this and the neon came in the same style box, so I'm assuming it's a new look for KBEAR. Slip on, that comes out, has kind of a lid to open up. The IEMs themselves come over there. These, okay. There's a little package here which brings tips and brings cable, which upon looking at it, I mean, this looks very much like a KZ cable, which begs the question, how interacted are all these companies? I mean, if that isn't a KZ cable, I don't know what is. But anyway, it is what it is. At least it brings a cable, let's put it that way. Okay, just put this away. That's it. Okay, in terms of the tips, some white ones and some black ones. The white ones seem to be kind of a more longer bore. The black ones seem to be shorter, stubbier. Okay, that's it. Okay, so tips done. Alright, inside here brings the carrying case, which is a normal standard of fare. Nothing special. I mean, nice, sturdy, some branding there and so on. Very nice. These are actually the tips that came on the IEM itself, but I'm not using them. And neither am I using the cable as well. I'm using, all the tests and all the listening was done with an external XI NHS cable, which I will show you in a second. Okay, so that's that. IEMs themselves. Let's zoom this in here. Beautiful IEMs. Beautiful. Honestly, I think very nicely done. Of course, when I looked at them the first time, it looked familiar, it looked similar to something, and you can definitely see some KZ Z10 Pro, ZS10 Pro, and some CCA C10 genes in it. I mean, I've got the CCA over here, and the shell looks very similar as well. The ZS10 Pro, again, very similar shell. Alright, as for the KBEARs, metal faceplate, resin shell, metal nozzle, has a vent, two vents. Let's see if this will focus. Try and zoom it in a little bit more. There we go. There we can see them. The one vent is right over there. There. The other one in front, we can just see the tuning filter on top of it. QDC connector. The mesh itself on the nozzle is a very fine mesh. Let me just get this out and I'll show you. There we go. And there's one BA sitting behind it, and the other three are down here. You can see them there. There we go. That's it. Alright. Dynamic driver. The dynamic driver, upon looking at it, it reminds me a lot of the dynamic driver of the KS1. If it is in fact that or not, I cannot say for sure unless I actually open up the IEM, but from what I know of the KS1, and I've actually taken a few apart, and the empty one the same. These drivers look almost identical, and the funny thing is they actually sound very similar. So I think it would be a safe bet to say that they are the same drivers. Okay, so these are the IEMs. Fit is pretty good, long enough nozzle. They are quite big, but in my case, I don't really have any complaints. They sit nicely in my ear. The weight that they have doesn't become excessive at any time, and overall, it's a nice set to wear and to you don't really get fatigued or anything of the sort. Okay. As for the sound, well, that was perhaps a little bit of a problem because right now 4+1 hybrids priced at below $55, $60, which is roughly what this cost. There aren't really many offerings, and well, I had to make do with what I had available, and what I had available was CCA C10, ZS10 Pro from KZ. So these are two basically brothers. What differs here is how the BAs are oriented. I mean, over here you can see that there's 3 BAs there. Let me try and see if I can zoom this in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, C10. Okay, BA is there, and the ZS got BA there, and on the nozzle. I understand they're basically the same BA models, just different configuration on how they're set up. And Robin kind of shares the same BA disposition as the CA10. Focus this. They're all there, 3 of them, and then 1 on the nozzle. That's basically it. I'm trying to focus this, but it's not easy. Not easy at all. But there, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, and well, I used as well one of the biggest hypes lately now, the GQ10 from Geeko World. Okay, that's also a hybrid using 2 piezos, 2 dynamic drivers, and 1 BA. And these are basically the earphones that I could get my hands on in terms of similar price and similar configuration to compare it with the KBEAR Robin. V-shaped signature, although, well, let me correct that. V-shaped in terms of the bass, but then the mids and highs, they're actually quite neutral. I have to admit they're actually quite neutral. When I graphed it, my curve was more pronounced on the bass and a little bit flatter here. So, well, like I said, I'll post the graph as well so you guys can see. So it's relatively neutral, and from 2 all the way to about 10k it stays about flat, and nothing jumps out or anything of the sort. And then it's got a V, so sub bass is in my opinion emphasized, and this emphasis sometimes lends the sound to be a little bit sluggish and overly warm. Having said that, it makes for a very easily listening IM. It's not in any way overly bright, aggressive, or sibilant in excess. It's very easy to listen to it, and you can listen to them for quite a while, which is something that maybe on the C10 and on the ZS10 Pro, sorry, you would perhaps find them overly bright, and they could become slightly fatiguing over a while. Personally, I've modified my ones. These ones are still standard, but I've got another set which I've modified, and it's kind of become and I've acquired the taste that I want out of them, the sound that I wanted out of them. But in standard format, these two are definitely much brighter than the Robin. And again, I say this, I feel that there's a lot of commonality here, a lot of things are being shared here. It's almost like repackage, retune, reuse kind of idea. I'm not going to say that the dynamic drivers are exactly the same, because they're not. You can visually see that they are different, and the dynamic drivers in these ones are way quicker, way more engaging in terms of speed of the bass and so on, while the Robin, the bass is, like I said, it's a little bit sluggish sometimes. It just drags itself, so the decay is very pronounced. But in terms of mid-range and high frequencies, very nicely done. There could be a little bit more clarity, a little bit more air on the higher frequencies, going along the lines of the CCA, the C10. But what there is available is nice. As compared to the Geek World, well, some of you might know that I had some issues with my one in terms of it being 100% what it should be, or what was being hyped. So these ones have been modified. I've got a vent filter that you can see. The bass is superior to the Robin CDs. It's faster, it's more textured, maybe not as deep, but it's a better quality bass. Quantity has got less. I mean, the Robin has got loads of quantity. Quantity is not an issue with the Robin. Mids and highs, crystal clean. Now that I've been listening to them for a few days, I have to admit that I really do like them. Where they are at fault, or where they fault with regards to the Robin, is in terms of overall build quality, which you compare one and the other, and you can straight away see that this is a much well thought out product in terms of how it was put together. Weight, everything. You can just see that it's a better put together product. That's basically it. So to recap, sound wise, it's a warm sound. It will be great fun for those looking for something to listen to, casual music. Not the best in terms of something like for details, and if you're a detail freak, this is no HD sound, for example. No, forget that. But it's a fun IM, loads of bass, loads of bass. I think this will satisfy a bass head, no problem. Although sometimes that bass is excessive and can actually hinder the rest of the presentation and make the whole thing sound a little sluggish. But overall, it's fine. I like them. I'm not going to say I don't like them, because I'd be lying. I like them. As compared to the other offerings, like I mentioned, CCA, you can pick them up for dirt cheap right now, and I think they would be an option if you don't have the money to spend for the Robins. The ZS10 I find just overly aggressive, so I mean, it's just too bright in the wrong way. Maybe some will enjoy it. And the GQ10, the Geek World, is kind of it's a gamble. I mean, you might have one which comes perfect and sounds good and it's amazing, or then you might have one like myself that required some fine tuning. Required some pimp my ride kind of attention. But overall, like I said, it's a nice IM. The price, I think it's fair for what you're being offered, and it was a good effort by KBEAR. I mean, lately they've been trying, and it seems that they are coming out with some interesting products. That will be coming out with, I believe, a substitute to the KBEAR, I believe, which is the Aurora, and I'm actually looking forward to listening to that one. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and I'll speak to you soon again. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.